Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. To my surprise, there is a new Firebase Z video that has just come out. Treyarch have just posted it, and this actually features appearances from Craig Houston, the one and only lead writer, but also Corky Lehmkuhl, who we think is the current kind of director who has basically replaced Jason Blundell in his previous role. He's now left Treyarch, obviously, but Corky's in it, and we've also got features from Anthony Saunders, Collin Ayers, my man, and Mark Maestas, my man, as well. Amazing to see all of these guys in here, absolute Zombies veterans. We're going to be watching it together now, and then afterwards we'll break it down and all that, but first we've got to get through the damn video. I'm so excited. Drop a like if you're excited as well. Let's do this. Okay, buildable bench on the left-hand side.
Firebase Z is the map that really lets us explore the character of Samantha Maxis
That's Craig Houston, in case you're wondering.
to an extent that we never ever have before. D Machina was really introducing people to the Dark Aether storyline, which, you know, as I've said in the past, only exists because of everything that had gone before, but it now has a whole new trajectory, and Firebase Z is the one that really makes it explode.
Okay, so that's an interesting comment from Craig, because he's saying there, specifically, he's like giving us a little call out to the previous Aether story, which granted, because they're referencing Samantha, makes sense, but it makes me wonder if there's any other past Aether stuff that might be rearing its head in this map. Richtofen, where are you?
What I love about Firebase Z is that it's set in Vietnam. In this all new experience, we've broken the map up into two locations. The Firebase, which is the facility where scientists and soldiers do.
Okay, Corky, I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm also gonna skip back to this because I believe that is the Tombstone machine. That is its location in the map, in the kind of military area. So we're anticipating, I think, that our crew are gonna start off in the village area of the map. That's my guess. And then we're gonna teleport over to this kind of military base, and that's where we'll find the Tombstone machine. Okay, Corky, take it away.
Experiments and mine the Dark Aether.
There's
and then we
Jug.
have the village.
Okay.
That's where the scientists sleep and do all their research.
Pack a punch.
My teams reached the village.
The way you play in D Machina might not necessarily translate over to Firebase Z.
Anthony Saunders, are you someone we've seen before? I don't know if he's long-term and we just haven't seen him, or if he's new. Either way, welcome to the fold. Glad to have you here.
The low-end level design of Outpost 25 calls back a little bit to Moon in that you start in the village and then take a teleporter over to the outpost itself.
Okay.
Once you're at the outpost, there's a bit of a central area, a hub, if you will, that players can choose what path they want to go to. They can run around the outside of the map itself and the outer edge.
Okay.
You know, working on a zombies map is a very interesting experience.
Collin! My man! Hell yeah, I'm loving the tash, Collin. The stash.
I've been working on zombies maps since Call of Duty World at War. A lot of the way we do the sound design for these maps is still kind of rooted in how we did it back then. It's very seat of your pants, wild and crazy. Let's try and make this stuff sound really cool, scary, creepy. Nothing's off the table when it comes to zombie sound design because of the world that they inhabit.
Oh man, that looks cool.
So Outpost 25 is an Omega outpost, and they're doing a lot of
I know who that is. That's my boy Mark Maestas.
science experiments. There's a lot of different little things and mechanics that you can interact with. It'll be up to players to kind of discover how they work and how to make use of them.
Okay. Assault waving?
I'm most excited for players to experience in these assault rounds. It's a very different way of playing than you're used to. It follows more of like the holdout style of gameplay, but it's not so static. You still have to move around.
What?
Artillery strike and napalm strike start to become key at the higher rounds, especially in the assault rounds, because it's just excellent crowd control on top of just being super epic. Standing at an elevated position, kind of looking down at the defense lines while these artillery strikes are just bombarding the play space. It's awesome.
I'm sorry, but just pausing for a second. Fire control unit health, and then they had like waves of zombies coming out of port. Bruh, what is going on?
When we got together to try to brainstorm ideas for new enemies, you know, there's lots of different ideas that came about.
Yeah.
The one we kind of gravitated towards was this idea of the ambush-style enemy.
Now, the Mimic is tricky.
The Mimic! Name confirmed. Good stuff.
This guy hides out as items, and as you approach them, transforms into this tentacled beast.
They're actually doing that! They're actually going for it. So we knew that it could shapeshift. I made a video about that last week, but I didn't necessarily expect them to just hide it as like salvage on the floor and then have it spring up. And like, that is so cool. That is so, so cool. And it really makes me just hopeful for a prop hunt in zombies. That would be amazing.
That grabs you, suck you in, bite you. Basically, if you see something sitting around and wonder why nobody picked it up, why is that awesome item still sitting there? It's probably a Mimic.
Dude.
The RAI-K84,
yes,
or as we like to call it, the Ray-K,
yep.
Is based on an old Russian prototype under weapon that never saw the light of day. It's built using parts from an AK-74, married with experimental technology.
Maestas' contact will help us infiltrate. Ravenoff, are you there? Finally, there is little time to waste.
When we started this Dark Aether,
Hold up, Craig, 1 second. We just saw Ravenoff is sitting directly behind the Pack-a-Punch machine, and there's loads of like power doors.
when we started this Dark Aether story, it was kind of daunting in some ways because, a lot of us have been working on zombies since the beginning, and that's where the excitement, particularly with this fresh start and the Dark Aether story, has been kind of reinvigorating for the team. I don't think I've ever felt as excited about post-launch seasons of content as I do this year. I think people are probably, when they get to the end of this, they're going to look back at what we've done and go, I did not see that coming.
If any harm comes to her, I will kill you myself.
Okay, we've got to go back. Don't click off the video. Stay with me here to like 3 very important things. The first is this bit of gameplay where they are activating the Aether reactor. Note that it says protect the collection units on the sides, and that's presumably what those spheres are. So when we're protecting the collection units, I'm sure they're gonna kind of suck up the material like we've seen in the trailer already, and then that's gonna create a sort of phase blast from that central Aetherium reactor that is going to initiate some kind of shield or something around the facility, which we saw again in the trailer. Now, is this gonna work similar to Onslaught, where only once that's done, we're going to start getting those certain rounds, those assault rounds, where the zombies come in via the portals on the outside of that bubble? Potentially. It may be, though, that rather than just happening every couple of rounds, it's actually something that we can choose to do. In the same way that we can choose to exfil, maybe we can choose to defend the Aether reactors once again later in the map, because as you can see here, it says assault wave incoming, and you've got a 40-second timer. Just like with your exfils, you get a timer, and it says objective started, defend the Aether reactor. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing more objectives added to this list in the future maps, because exfilling is cool, but why make that entire feature and system with a timer and stuff and then only use it for one thing? I'm really interested in all the symbols that are on the map as well. There's so many of them around the place, but we've got these portals that you can see here that are spawning zombies in, but they are not portals that we can teleport through, because as you would have seen in D Machine, they have stars on them, right, on the map. These don't. The stars are elsewhere on the map, so you can clearly teleport elsewhere through the portal, presumably, that we've already seen, but these ones are just zombie spawners, it looks like. Now, are they always going to be outside? Probably, based on the fact that there are multiple sentry turrets that are already kind of in place around the map, and I imagine what they meant when they said that it's kind of more like stand your ground and hold your ground type situations is that they want this to be like an old school horde survival where the zombies like storm the beach essentially in front of you and you have to hold off from your little ramparts in the buildings here. I also think it's interesting that we're starting off in this spawn area, which is kind of like Moony, right? Like we're going to be starting off in the village and then going through the portal, probably turning on the power in the other area and then coming back, and that's why there are so many power doors on the map here. But the fact that the Pack-a-Punch is in the original area is just like Moon, but also Ravenoff is here too. So we're no doubt going to have to go back and forth a bunch of times in this map, and that's exciting to me too, having like distinct environments for us to explore. I love that. If you want more content like this from me, then leave a comment down below, guys, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Firebase Z drops very soon, and I'll be posting lots of videos for it on my channel. See you there.